Hello! So this is the probably like 20th time I've tried to film this video, and that's because I don't really know how to organize this video. This is kind of just like, think of it as like a monologue of me just spewing out my thoughts about my job. And
if you have any specific questions that I don't answer in this video, just comment it down below and I'll answer it, or I'll make it part 2.
But I'm basically just gonna tell you my experience as a Starbucks barista and pros and cons, and like low-key why I hate my job, but also low-key why I don't. So like, yeah. That's the video. I just thought,
hey, that's kind of fun, right? Like,
you get to see my job. Or not. Maybe this video is really boring. But, so, I was hired at
A disclaimer, I got my job before the Starbucks boycott, and I am not in the economic position to just quit my job. So,
that's just a disclaimer. Me working at Starbucks does not show my beliefs. Okay, let's get into the video. So when was I hired at Starbucks? I was hired in early July 2023, and that's kind of the worst time to be hired because it's in the summer, and summer is not a good time to be hired in my opinion. There's 2 bad times to be hired. I would say the holiday time and summer.
Summer, you just have a lot of like extra drinks you have to make.
And also, all the little kiddos are out of school, okay? We get a lot of kiddos coming. Like, even on the weekdays, I'm like, should you not be at school? Like, why are you here? It's actually insane how many people cut to come to Starbucks and how many little kids come to Starbucks before and after school.
But that's a whole nother like topic.
So yeah, I was hired in the summer.
extremely stressful, like had mental breakdowns probably every single day.
And that's because you're kind of low-key just like thrown into it when you first start. Because like they teach you stuff on the iPad before you like really start. But you don't learn anything from that. It's kind of, you're just like, you don't absorb it. None of the terminology makes sense because like you don't see it in action. And every store is a little bit different. So like finding your routine of what to do is not like set on the iPad. So the first month, I would say, I was just the person who was like told to get stuff, brewing coffee, or like put on the drive-thru, and I wasn't even taking orders on the drive-thru. I was literally just like at the register.
And I was bad at the register too. Like,
I didn't know how difficult it was to freaking use a cash register. Genuinely was horrible at it. Don't know how people put up with me because honestly, I'm not that patient. Thanks y'all for not being completely evil to me. Even though like I low-key don't like my job, I like my coworkers. I just want to say that pretty much everyone I work with is a good person, so there you go. But yeah, it was just very stressful, and it still can get very stressful, but at least now I feel like I've been working enough that I know what to do. But like when you first start, like you don't know how to handle anything, so you're just like truly panicked. Like it was not good for me as an anxious person. I will never forget the one day, like I still don't know who this girl freaking was, and it's driving me crazy because there's like 3 tiers, I guess. There's like the baristas, the shift people who are like 1 tier above, and then like assistant manager and manager. So the shift people are kind of like the lead barista on the floor, and they kind of like direct you what to do. And I would like,
in the beginning, I'll always ask like, what should I do?
I will never forget this one bitch! And I'm calling her a bitch because she was a bitch.
She was from another store and was covering for someone, and this was on like a Saturday or something, and I was just asking her, I was like, hey, like what should I do? And she was like, do you not know how to do anything? Because I think she told me to do something, and I was like, oh, I wasn't sure how to do that yet. And then she asked me to do something else, and I was like, do you do it? Like I think I was like clarifying how to do it, but I knew how to do it. And her response was like, do you not know how to do anything?
So then she just told me to wipe down all the fridges, and I literally like, I think I cried while wiping down the fridges. I'm dead serious. I was not having it that day. I was so sad. But that was like my one bad experience with like coworkers. That was crazy. That was wild. But like, that's just how you feel as a new barista. Like, everything's chaotic and like you don't know how to do anything. And also you don't know the recipes because the recipes are so freaking annoying. Like, you think there's a pattern, and once you think there's a pattern with how you make drinks, that pattern is completely like broken, and then they're like,
oh, you make these ones in a different way.
So you have to remember that this is different from this. So there's no like...
It's hard to explain if you don't work there. There's certain drinks that like get certain amount of shots or like pumps of syrup.
And like, you kind of know that like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm really bad at this. Certain drinks get like the same number of pumps and shots, but then you would think other drinks would get the same amount, but they don't for some reason, if that makes sense.
Randomly, one will be different, and you're like, okay, now I have to remember like an exception. I guess that's a good way to word it, is there's many rules of how to make drinks, but there's many exceptions to the rules of how to make drinks, which is very confusing.
I also, in the summer, it's freaking hot. Like, I think our air conditioner broke. I was sweating bullets every day, and I was wearing shorts to work. It felt so nasty.
I'd come home every day, like, disgusting.
Now it's better because it's like cold, but it still gets really hot in there. I am someone who works mornings. I have to wake up at 4 something in the morning every day to be there at 5, which I love working morning shifts because I get the shift over with. Like, I'm usually done by 12 and then I have the rest of the day to like do whatever. So I love that. But I don't love waking up at 4 in the morning because then you have to go to bed earlier. But I don't want to go to bed earlier because that's not fun. It's tough on the body. It's tough on the body. Like, on my days off, I sleep in a lot.
Because you need to catch up on that sleep.
Also, in the morning, you're just kind of like out of it. Like, you're doing things like filling ice bins or
brewing coffee, and it's all automatic. Like, I feel like you're not really thinking, like you're kind of out of it. So like, if something goes against the norm, you definitely can mess up.
You're just really tired in the morning, which is good that we work at a coffee shop because then I usually drink a lot of caffeine.
Starbucks has definitely given me a caffeine addiction.
Before, I would drink... My caffeine journey is interesting because I wasn't really into caffeine, and then in college, when I would wake up at 5 in the morning, I used to think waking up at 5 in the morning was so early. Now I wake up at like 4 something in the morning.
And I'm like, okay, I guess that's what I do.
But when I would wake up at 5 in the morning at school, I would drink a Celsius every day. So I don't know how much caffeine that is, but you know, now working at Starbucks, every day I drink 4 shots in the morning, ristretto and updosed, which means they're more concentrated.
ヘイウェイガールズグループでもう初めてですから first time ですから今ロゼさんの驚き方が本当っていうねマジですちんちゃです
So I don't know how much caffeine I'm getting, but I'm certainly very much so dependent on caffeine now because if I don't have my coffee, we're not going to be efficient. We're not going to be good at our job. And on the days I don't work, I'm feeling a little bit of a lull. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely have developed a caffeine addiction, unfortunately. What is my drink order? I went through many phases of the drinks I would drink at Starbucks. I went through like an iced mocha phase, an iced latte phase. I went through a matcha phase, a strawberry acai phase.
Now I'm definitely in like a hot latte phase.
So lately I've been drinking like a grande almond milk latte with like 1 packet of raw sugar and 4 blonde ristretto updose shots. It tastes pretty good, to be honest. But I've just been trying to lower my sugar intake from Starbucks because that's the other thing they don't tell you is how much sugar is in everything at Starbucks.
Look at how much sugar is in your drink because guaranteed you will be shocked. Like,
there's more sugar in our matcha than matcha. It's insane. And it's also insane how many pumps go into like our drinks. So like if you get like say a pistachio latte, there's like 5 pumps in a venti, and that's like very sweet. In my opinion, all of the Starbucks drinks are way too sweet. I would half every single thing, like if I could, because I think half the amount of sweetness would be normal. But Starbucks really just likes their sugar. Like I don't know. That's why I've been kind of just doing the 1 packet of raw sugar because I'm like, I can't be putting pumps in anymore. It's not good for you. I just feel gross after doing that. No judgment, but you know, I'm not trying to have that much sugar at 5 in the morning. So let's think. What is my favorite thing to do at Starbucks? So there's a couple different like positions, and there's like bar, which I'm okay with barring like during the day, and bar is making drinks if you don't know. Because during the day, if you're on bar, it's like semi-busy and like it just keeps you going, so your shift goes faster. But in the morning, when it's like peak, which is like the most busy part of the day, I do not want to bar, because like people will watch you make their drinks
and literally stare you down
and like consistently keep asking you where their drink is, and I'm like,
I don't know where your drink is, ma'am.
I can only see like a certain amount that I can only see like 4 at a time. Like I'm pulling tickets of the orders out. Like I don't know when yours is, ma'am. Like
you're gonna have to ask someone else because I'm not checking for you.
But people are really rude to you if you're like barring in the morning. They're very impatient. I guess not everyone, but a lot of people are. Sorry.
So I do not like barring in the morning, because if you're barring from drive-thru, you have to be really fast, which is too stressful for me.
And if you're doing like cafe orders, it's also too stressful. And I have anxiety, and I don't like cold bar because I suck at that, and I don't like doing that. So what do I like? I like doing the oven, because the oven is just,
You're in your own corner, you're looking at the wall, you don't have to speak to anyone, you're just literally heating up food in the oven.
so that's so easy. Like I don't know why people don't like oven. A lot of people don't like it. I love anything that's easy. So I love me a good oven. I always want to be put on oven. If I'm not on oven, I do like DTO when you take orders.
Now, when I first started at Starbucks, I sucked at taking orders because the cash register is so freaking confusing because there's so many buttons.
But now that I've literally worked there for 8 months, I kind of like know it really well, so I can take it like really fast. It's so easy. I love DTO. What else? I'm begging you, if you go to Starbucks in the morning, please do not get a Frappuccino. Please do not get a Frappuccino. And if it's a coffee Frappuccino, whatever.
Please do not get a mocha cookie crumble or a caramel ribbon crunch Frappuccino at 6 in the morning. I'm literally begging you.
You will most certainly get diarrhea. If you do that, I promise you will get diarrhea.
I'm begging you.
Would I recommend working at Starbucks? I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I might get fired if I give my true recommendation, but you can make your own inference on what I would say from this video, I think. If you want a part 2 or something about me answering specific questions, I will. But like, I just needed to low-key like kind of rant and also just like talk to the camera about working as a barista. So. God, I can't move my feet. My feet literally fell asleep. Wow. 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 Wow.